And then yellow cough is for cough, flu, and sore throat, available in pharmacies across Uganda. I think this is a doctor who is giving information about treatment which is available. And someone has, okay. The other question, it was in inbox.
There's a question, Connie, that how can I get rid of stigma from my friends? Because the thing of labeling is too much. What would be your quick comment about that question?
You know, one thing is that we have self-stigma is worse than external stigma, because it's one thing someone fearing you, running away from you, but the most important thing is you yourself. What do you feel about yourself? One, it's good to understand that because this is a new disease, and I want to say that we've moved a little bit closer to at least management, because last year in April, if someone just had that, even if someone coughed, people would scatter and run away. And this is really declining. Why? Because of information. The reason why we have this other external stigma is because of ignorance, lack of information. Yeah, so when people do not know what to do when you meet someone who is positive with COVID, that's how they will stigmatize you. But the most important thing is understand that because of ignorance, this can happen. Because sometimes we may not know how people will react to us. We have no control about that, but we have control of how we decide to react to their comments and to their words. One, be confident that yes, you are sick and you're not the first person to be sick. There are many people who are sick, and it will take time for people to accept you back. That's why we are doing a sensitization actually. And that's why these talks are going on for almost 14 days. Why? The sensitization is still, there's someone's mic which is on. Badr, I think. So yeah. That's why the sensitization needs to go on. Why? Because even HIV, which has lived with us for now coming to 40 years, people still have external stigma. So mostly deal with self-stigma. One, accept yourself and know that people might treat you in a certain way. However, do not take that personal. Just know that with time they will know. Maybe they are only ignorant about the whole thing. But be fair to your own self. Start by treating yourself fairly and take good care of yourself. A few people will accept you, others may not accept you. Go with those ones first who accept you and let the other ones keep learning slowly. Like I'm saying, we are only trying to get there. Yeah, so for now, the stigma may not go away from the public very fast. But first, start by accepting yourself. Self-stigma is worse than external stigma. Okay. Gilbert, please hand this up.
Gilbert, please unmute and go ahead. You're muted.
Thanks so much. Just to add on Connie's with stigma, if someone is saying what we are all doing here is to help someone out there, gain the confidence to disclose to someone, to a friend, someone who is that close to you, someone whom you normally talk to share with, to a friend, to a family member, they will be able to support you. So once you have gained that confidence, then you will have reducing the levels of stigma. But if you still fear to disclose, if you still fear to tell a friend, if you still fear to tell your parents, if you still fear to tell your wife that I'm sick, then the stigma will be too much. So we want for help, to tell someone for encouragement, and then no one will stigmatize you because you will already have told someone out there. So even if you met someone and said, they told us you do have COVID, he said, yes, I do. So it is something that we are trying to fight out, especially once we disclose to our friends that can help us out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Gilbert. Let me also answer. There's someone who asked about how do you handle schizophrenia in such a period. Of course, schizophrenia is it's psychosis. It's a mental health issue. And of course, someone who is schizophrenic, because I'm sure the person who asked knows something about schizophrenia. If you have such a mental health issue, I know you are working with a psychiatrist and a psychologist. there is support for such a person. They need to still attend their clinics. Even when someone is schizophrenic and has COVID, still they'll be treated, they'll be isolated, all the SOPs will be followed, and there are people who are specialized to attend to people who are schizophrenic. They give them medication and all that. So it's important to take the client, a patient, to the people who are qualified to work with them. For example, a psychiatrist, because a psychiatrist is a doctor, so they already know about the SOPs. And yes, and so that is what you should do for a schizophrenic person. Take them to the rightful people, a psychiatrist, and then they will also work with a psychologist. And then another question was that what impact is there of opening up in regard to the social life of the dependents of the patient? We still emphasize, find one person you trust in the family and disclose. It is always good to disclose to one person, someone you trust, because if you do not disclose, you will die alone, like you will feel you are alone. All the symptoms that we talked about become heavier if you are alone. But when you disclose to someone, help starts coming out. Maybe you might be confused. This person will tell you that, no, you're not the first person. We can go to hospital. We can support you. You need words of encouragement. So fear is one of the leading things to not letting to disclose. Please disclose to someone you trust. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we will take the last question, and I see Stephen Alan Mukisa has his hand up. Stephen, kindly unmute and make your comment, and as we try to bring this to a close. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening to us. I would like to also to bring to our thank you so much. Thank you so much, Connie and Gilbert, for that presentation and the apostle. This is really relevant. However, our presentation, there's something that I would like also to bring to addition. There are persons, they have COVID itself has provoked secondary challenges. I can give you a scenario, for instance, we are in a lockdown, but actually there are some families who are not really affected with COVID pandemic. I mean, like they do not have someone infected, but some indirectly they are affected. And I give a scenario, for instance, like our children from school, they have come back, they are not used to staying home. This is the moment for them to, like, they are so energetic, they are so much on rampage. Take an instance of the playful ones and the adolescent ones. Socializing makes so much meaning to them. Now also the parents are in a challenge, like how to control them. Now remember, some of these children have not appreciated that surely COVID can affect them, and some of them think it is too smart. Now the caregivers are also in challenge of controlling them. It is overwhelming for them. There are also some of those, for instance, there have been some common statements on social media making fun about men staying home. That can also be a serious irritability to them. The man is not used to staying home, or when he stays home, there's a lot of complaining, or the woman is not comfortable. Even the children, those are serious psychological challenges. They are secondary, but they can affect the people so much. So the presentation itself, as we've gotten it, I would urge each one of us to extend it also to those people. They really need the same help as people who have been affected and infected with the pandemic. That's my submission.
Thank you so much, Stephen Allen. Dear friends, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone on behalf of Pastor Victor. Thank you, our wonderful counselors from Uganda Counseling Association. We really do appreciate this partnership. And in case you're there and you still have a question that has not been answered, or you have many other more questions, I'd like to inform you that this engagement is ongoing for the next 2 weeks. And so you can pack your question and join in again tomorrow using the same link. Our wonderful counselors will be on the call to answer each and every question that we do have. So because of time, we will stop from here, but I would like to appreciate in a special way Mishkan, led by Pastor Victor, the brains behind this initiative. We really thank you so much for what you're doing and thinking this big to bring this initiative. Uganda Counseling Association, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on board to support us in this hard season of
Norman, you're muted. We can't hear you.